What's up, everybody? We are out here at Lake Berryessa, out for the no limit big bass per hour. We got over 100 anglers out here, and it's gonna be one heck of a day. It's gonna be a lot of fun out here trying to catch, the biggest fish per hour. And luckily for me, I've got my PDL service, my motor's running, got everything set up.
So rather than bore you guys with about at least hours of skunking, I figured I'd just focus on what I primarily did. In my original concept for heading out to this location, I wanted to primarily hit the northern areas. The northern areas has a good amount of points and transition, but however, on this day, I could not locate them. I will admit that I did diverge from my original plan. You see, I wanted to target all of the north end and do a full loop around. Halfway down there, I got distracted and heard a conversation between two other anglers saying they weren't catching anything. So as you can see here, this is the path that I originally took. And honestly, I think it was a good start, but however, my anticipation of catching more fish for this day was totally not reached. You see, from the launch area, I went straight to the main point over there, closer towards the bridge of Utah Canyon. I target all areas here, primarily points and transitional areas that I thought bass would hold. But what I found was a lot of the water had high amounts of algae. Now the algae is a big distraction for me because I can never really tell whether the bass are going to hang out in that area or not due to the lack of oxygen. From this section here, I moved forward, but at one point, once I heard the conversation, I ended up pulling back. You see, I wanted to go further up in that area, but there was no luck for me. In my train of thought, I figured I'd head back over towards the very first point where I started and start working my way back, which I did. And in these areas, I still couldn't find any bass. Again, targeting all primary points and receding edge lines, there was nothing to be located for me. However, on the way back, I did find areas in the grass line where bass were holding, but however, they were not hungry and they would not bite. So pretty much after covering this amount of ground, I headed back out to the main launch ramp. And with my head a little bit low, but you know what? That's bass fishing. At the end of the day, I covered almost 8.5 miles. It wasn't the original plan that I intended for, but it's something I fell back on. My original plan, which I'll demonstrate here, was to launch from the same location which we were designated on, hit all of the main points on the north end, target all the transitional areas that I thought they would hold, and head over to the far end, and from when I got halfway down, cross over towards the bigger island. In this section, again, targeting main transition points, and targeting again areas that I think they would hold. But that time would have actually just cost me almost about 10 miles.
I think one of the key factors here too that I may have overlooked and did not really consider is the type of fish that people are targeting here at Lake Berryessa. They're accustomed to chasing a lot of the salmon and trout in these areas and smaller fish that they prey upon. You see, when I came down there, I was pretty much just trying to relive older and generated results in the past, like using drop shots and worms. I'm not saying they don't work, but I think I was just approaching it in the wrong locations. Since I was going through transition points and, closer to the bank, I think what would have benefited me more is if I was running Kitech. You see, in the event, a lot of people were running Kitechs, like the 3.4s, with underspins or different types of setups. I did have one tied on, but that was during the very last hour, and by that time, my other fishing partner at the far end was telling me that he was getting burnt out and kind of like ready to call it, even though we were both skunking out pretty bad. Me, I like to go ahead and fish it until the tournament's done and not call it until it's officially lines out. It doesn't matter how bad you skunk or how distressed you get, you just got to keep trying all the way through. Now, if I would have had a Kitech tied on, there's a good chance I would have had a better hookup ratio and caught more fish in different locations. And also, if I would have stuck to the plan, chances are I would have pulled in more than what I bargained for. But I'm going to take this as a loss and face it that I didn't follow my original plan. I didn't thoroughly think it through due to the fact of what the conditions these fish are used to and the type of prey that they work on. So I know definitely for a fact the next time I go out there, I will be using Kitechs and possibly more underspins. But in this event, one thing that I did learn also is these fish were hidden in the grass line. One of the guys who won one of the big checks for $1,000 per 1 hour was primarily just using a Senko worm, weightless, and that worked for him. He just picked away at one of the grass lines and he caught a bunch of them. For him, he did end up catching a big one and he took a home check for $1,000. So in this, hey, my hat's off to you guys. Congratulations to all the winners out there who took home a check and had a great time doing it. I really wish I could have pre-fished it, but you know what? Right now, I'm in a career change. I'd love to go pre-fish and hang out with everyone out there, but yeah, I got to stay focused to what pays the bills at home. And on that final note, I got to thank you guys if you made it this far, and I want to give you a heads up on something. It's been about 2 years since I've started this channel, and over that time frame, I never thought I'd get the amount of subscribers I'm at now. I believe now I'm up to 441 subscribers. You know what? I know it's not big numbers, but I just want to share with all of you that I appreciate your love and support on this, making this kind of content and enjoying the time I spend out there and sharing it with you guys. For me, it's all the reward. But besides me being selfish and enjoying that reward, I want to give it back. I want to give it back to one lucky subscriber, and I want to make sure they go out the next time out on the water with all the best tools that they can use that are durable and well engineered. On that note, here's a small glimpse of what I'll be giving away soon, and if you want to take part into it, please remember to like, leave a comment, subscribe, and stay tuned.